welcome back. My name is Ajna and today I'm going to be baking with my older sister Kashi.
Hey guys, it's Kashi, and like my sister said, we're going to be baking together. And baking is just a new hobby we just picked up, and we have been baking a few treats here and there, and they turned out pretty good. But this cupcakes that we made were the best thing I probably have ever made throughout that whole period of baking things. So it's a vanilla cupcake with chocolate ganache, and I made it just a few days ago and they were awesome. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first thing first, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And you should also line your cupcake tin with the cupcake molds. We have silicones so that they're reusable, and yeah, you can wash them easily. Alright, so you're gonna need 1 cup of milk. I used almond milk, and 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. That's what I use, but you could use whatever you need to. Alright, so you're gonna whisk it together. And if you see the milk curdling, that's okay, that's natural, because curdling will allow the cupcake to be soft in its own natural way, alright? So let it sit there for about 10 minutes. Okay, so while the milk and the vinegar is sitting there, we're gonna sift together our dry ingredients. So we have 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. So we're gonna put that in the sifter. Now we're gonna use our cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Then our baking powder and baking soda. So 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder. So you're gonna put that all together in the sifter. One more thing, we're gonna use 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So we're gonna put that all together in the sifter, and we're gonna sift it, okay? So this allows all the ingredients to be separated, because if you don't do this, you may get little chunks of salt or baking powder in your cupcakes. So there may be a little bit balls. So just sift it together, whatever is left, put it in and put the remainings in the bowl.
It looks smooth.
Yeah, it looks very smooth. It's very fun to watch. And then you're gonna mix it all together nicely.
Oh,
I know, right? When you put
when you add the water.
Oh my God, yes, definitely. All right, so that was the second step. Okay, so now third step, we're gonna take our curdled milk.
Oh, so good.
So this is what it should look like. It may look like a regular milk over the camera, but it's not. So put it together, and you're gonna need. I used olive oil, so 1/3 cup of olive oil, and also 1.5 teaspoon of vanilla extract.
I taste the vanilla by itself.
Yeah, vanilla by itself is kind of bitter and strong. It's not the best. Okay, so you're gonna mix all the ingredients together.
It actually looks good.
Yeah.
But with cakes, you have to be very careful.
Yeah, because if you mix this too much, it's going to become doughy. And also 3/4 cup of sugar. We can't forget sugar, otherwise this will be plain disgusting. Well, not plain disgusting, but you need some sweetener, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So mix it together.
Oh, that looks delicious.
I know, right? That's my favorite part, when you just mix it and mix it. Okay, so remember, don't mix it just too much, otherwise it'll become doughy. I learned that mistake around 2 years ago, making gingerbread cookies. I made 2 mistakes actually. I added too much milk, so it became like this type of doughy not doughy, like liquid thing. And also I mixed it too much. And because I like mixing, and I still do, it's very nice, fun. so that became like a molasses type of bread, which was kind of disgusting. But
And
yeah.
she was like sort of 10 or 11.
Yeah, somewhere around there. All right.
But not
so that's how your batter should look like. Okay. Okay. So you're gonna take your cupcake liners and fill them with the batter about 2/3 of the way. Do that with every single cupcake liner thingy.
I don't know why they're called cupcakes.
Well, because they're like made in a cup and they look like cakes. So it should be filled that much.
But they're not even cakes.
Okay. And then put them in the tin and do it with the rest of them. Okay, so your oven should now be ready. And you should have filled in all of your cupcake molds, and all the batter should be distributed evenly. Before these go in the oven, you should let them bake for at least 20 to 25 minutes. I usually check in between to make sure that they are that they don't burn, because sometimes you know what could happen in the oven. So that's just me being careful. So let's pop them in. Okay, so now we're gonna get ready for chocolate ganache. So you're gonna need 1/3 of a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, but we don't have chocolate chips because we kind of ran out of them. So that's why we are using these chocolate type of bars from Trader Joe's, dark chocolate thingies. I think it's from somewhere, Belgium. I don't know.
I think they're from Trader Joe's.
Well, they're from Trader Joe's, but they're imported from somewhere. So we're gonna cut these up, and this will become your chocolate ganache. Okay, so next step is making the chocolate ganache while the cupcakes are baking. So you're gonna need, and I'm just gonna be walking you through this. You're gonna need 1/3 cup of milk. So you're gonna put that in first, 1/3 cup of milk. So pour that in, don't you?
Well, but the thing is not on. It is.
Okay, so now we're gonna turn on the stove.
I don't know why it's tick, 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 and then it goes on.
Alright, so let the milk there, let it simmer, and then when it starts to go on a low boil, let it go. Alright, as you can see, it's starting to boil. So now we're gonna add 1/3 cup of the milk, of the chopped chocolate, or you could do your, here, look. Or you could do the semi-sweet chocolate the chocolate chips. So pour that in. And also, you're gonna need 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. So pour that in. Okay, so now let's mix it together.
It melts very quick.
Yeah, just took a little bit. So it may look like this at first, may not look like ganache, but once it cooks for at least like 5 minutes, it'll be totally fine. If you need to stir it every once in a while, and it'll be good. We'll walk you through the steps. Alright, so the ganache is starting to boil and thicken up, and I'm just gonna whisk it.
With the whisk.
With the whisk, obviously. She likes whisking. I mean, who doesn't? But she kind of does it wrong. She just gave me a look. Alright, so let it whisk for like 10 seconds, and then let it boil.
I thought you said 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes? Oh no, that's too much. So after 5 to 10 minutes on the stove, just stir it once more and turn off the stove and let the ganache cool down until it's time to put it on the cupcakes. So our cupcakes just finished baking, and to know that they're done baking, just take a little toothpick, poke it in. If it comes out dry, that means the cupcakes are done. If it's not dry, then that means there's still obviously batter that isn't baked yet. So let's get your kitchen mitts. Oh, this is burnt, so I kind of burnt it. So get your kitchen mitts, your cooling rack. Let's get those cupcakes out. Okay, so these are our cupcakes. This is how they should look like. And what I like to do is just poke every single one of them and make sure that they are fully done, because I remember last time I made these, I poked through all of them and all of them are done except for one of them. So I had to put them back in the oven for a bit. So just check all of them, make sure nothing comes on a toothpick. Alright, so all these cupcakes are done because there's nothing on the toothpick. Alright, so let's take them out of the tin and let them cool on the cooling rack. So I've taken out the cupcakes from the baking tin on the cooling rack so they could cool down, because the normal cakes or cupcakes, if the cupcakes are too hot and you put some frosting or ganache on there, it'll just melt. So I usually like putting these in the fridge because they could cool down within 30 to 40 minutes. But if it's outside, it may take at least like 2 hours. So yeah, let's put this in the fridge. Okay, so the ganache is basically ready. So let me show you how it looks, okay? So as the ganache cools, it should be thicker now. And by the time the cupcakes are cool, this will be perfect, the perfect consistency to put on there, alright? Hey guys, so the cupcake is cooling, the cupcakes are cooling. I thought while we wait, we could do a little bonus in this video. So we're going to be telling a story, I'm going to be reading a story about puppies for sale, and it's about understanding. So let's get started. A shop owner placed a sign above his door that said puppies for sale. Signs like this always have a way of attracting young children, and to no surprise, a boy saw the sign and approached the owner. And by the way, this is me. When I see puppies for sale, I'm like, ooh, puppies. And then the boy asked, how much are you going to sell the puppies for? The store owner replied, anywhere from $30 to $50. The little boy pulled out some change from his pocket. I have $2.37, he said. Can I please look at them? The shop owner smiled and whistled. Out of the kennel came Lady, who ran down the aisle of his shop, followed by five teeny tiny balls of fur. One puppy was lagging considerably behind. Immediately, the little boy singled out the lagging, limping puppy and said, what's wrong with that little dog? The shop owner explained that the veterinarian had examined the little puppy and had discovered it didn't have a hip socket. It would always limp. It will always be lame. The little boy became excited. That is the puppy I want to buy, the shop owner said. No, you don't want to buy that little dog. If you really want him, I'll just give him to you. The little boy got quite upset. He looked straight into the store owner's eyes, pointed his finger, and said, I don't want you to give him to me. The little dog is worth every bit as much as all the other dogs, and I'll pay the full price. In fact, I'll give you $2.37 now and 50 cents a month until I have him paid for. The shop owner countered, you really don't want to buy this little dog. He's never going to be able to run and jump and play with you like the other puppies. To his surprise, the little boy reached down and rolled up his pant leg to reveal a badly twisted, crippled left leg supported by a big metal brace. He looked up at the shop owner and softly replied, well, I don't run so well myself, and the little puppy will need someone who understands. So this is a great story. I enjoy the story. The first time I read this, I was kind of a little bit sad, but that's just me. Yeah.
I love puppies.
Puppies are nice. Yeah, so basically the story is teaching you that every single living thing, human, animal, there's no such thing is more important and someone who is less. Everyone has an equal worth. Just because they may have some disability or some special needs, that doesn't mean you should treat them differently. They're humans, and humans should treat each other nicely and shouldn't think of one as less of one another. Alright, so that was the story, and we'll be back with the cupcakes in just a little while. Okay, so after the cupcakes have cooled down in the fridge for about 30 minutes, And now the ganache has cooled down fully. We are now ready to put it on the cupcakes, and we get to do a little bit of decorations. I'm not gonna go all out, but you know, some decoration. Okay, so your chocolate ganache should be nice and thick by now, and it will be perfect. It's the perfect consistency to put on these cupcakes. So we're gonna take a little bit ganache and put it on the cupcake like this. This is how I did it last time. I'm actually supposed to, the recipe said to dip the cupcake in there, but I didn't do that because when I tried it last time, it didn't really work out. So this is how it should look like. You could add a little bit more ganache on the sides, fill it up, and if there's any extras, you could always put more on the ones that need more ganache. So we're gonna do it with everything, and I'll show you the results. Alright, so I have put the ganache on all the cupcakes. Nice and shiny they are, I love them. Alright, so for the decoration, not really a decoration, but makes it look nice. I took a lavender plant from my garden, our garden, and some pecans. So I'm just gonna take a small piece of the pecan, or I'm just gonna make one in half, and then I'm gonna put it on one cupcake, and then you have to take one lavender part. Don't put a lot of lavender because it can be overpowering, so just a little bit, and you can't see that well, but there we go. That's what it should look like. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this with the rest of the cupcakes, and you guys can do the same. So as you can see, I topped my cupcakes with pecans and lavender. You can top this with anything you like, really. Last time I did it with some blueberries and lavender. You could, like I said, you can top with any berry, nut, anything you like. So that's the cupcakes. Just let it go in the fridge for at least 10 minutes for the ganache to set, or you can, but if you really want to stay, you could leave it in there for like an hour or so. I'm gonna leave it in there for 10 minutes, and I'm gonna show you how my cupcakes turned out. Okay, so after 15 minutes in the fridge, the cupcakes have set well, nicely, and hopefully yours did too. So let me show you how our cupcakes turned out. Okay, so this is our cupcakes. They turned out very nicely. They are nice and shiny. I don't know if you guys can see that well. Oh, let's see. There we go. Those are our cupcakes. And hopefully yours turned out this way too. Alright, so that's it for today. Hope everyone enjoyed it, and hope everyone's cupcakes, for those of you who tried, turned out well, okay? So remember to smash that like button and subscribe, alright?
I was
Bye,
going to
guys.
tell her earlier, but...
Okay, bye-bye.